as for really having fun with Chinese people, with Chinese culture, kind of flexing with it, nah, no, 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 no. I'm like
Mm.
I'm an outsider. So yeah, that's my story, and like, taking all of these things into account, we get to Chinese academia, and I know a perfect guest who could explain it, and I'm gonna send you the link for this podcast, with Dima.
I
My
Dima.
friend. Yeah. I said it's a
Okay.
friend of mine.
I'm trying to I was looking through a few. Initially I was looking through the clips and spotting
Good.
conversations on there, but
Good.
then I
That's
saw that there
that's
were
how
full
everybody
episodes, and
should do.
I
Everybody
Yeah.
who's listening, go through the clips first, and then you like
Yeah,
something.
there is
Check.
no Dima episode yet.
Yeah, not
The
yet,
guys
not yet.
coming.
okay.
It's my, like, also one of my best friend. I got two, Tarek and Dima. A guy from Amman and Professor. I call him Professor from Russia, but he'd been living in UK
Hmm.
for like 20 years, so he's kind of like British. Uh, and yeah, with those two guys, I've been getting my way here, trying to maintain this lifestyle, understand some high level concepts, not about the environment, but
Yeah.
still about all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, that's the story of my life.
That's
Yeah.
it's interesting to hear you talk about that because it reminds me a fair amount of so uh Japanese on my mother's side. And back when I was in like the third grade, I think we moved to Japan for about 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in Tokyo, and I don't think I really appreciated this at the time. But I remember hearing my father, who's white, talk about it and noticing it when I returned and was older to be able to just observe my context a little bit better. Um, like that sense of being an outsider is very present in Japan as well, right? Like they're very welcoming, right? And notice that I'm saying like they, right? Like even though I'm half Japanese, I'm clearly Americanized, and I'm treated as an outsider when I'm when I'm there, which I guess to be fair, culturally I am, but they're great hosts, right? You're treated like a king when you're in Japan. Um, you're never welcomed in. Like you won't see behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you like don't become a part of the community. So there are little things that are fun. My parents love to tell this story when I was younger. Um, I think the only time I really didn't like McDonald's except when we were in Japan because they like made the burgers perfectly and there was something about that that was like tastier. But I didn't like pickles and onions on my burger, so I would ask for them to not have it on there. First time I went, it was with my father, and he made the order, and he speaks Japanese like fluently. The response was like, "Oh, we have this special order," right? They went to the back and made this fresh burger. The manager packaged it and brought it out and was like, "Thank you very much," and handed it to my father. And it was like this whole production, right? And my father, Giles, my father, he was like, "Oh, this is crazy," and so he like told my mother about it, told my grandparents about it. It was just like this funny event, and so my mother was like, "Oh wow, I want to see this." And so next time my mother and I were walking by the same McDonald's, we went up and she made the order, and the person behind the counter was like, "What?" You know, like the contrast of experience because in that mode, because my mother's Japanese, they weren't being like the full host, but at the same time, so that's like that first encounter, but at the same time in terms of like being able to really penetrate the community and be a part of it, um it would always be surface level with my father, where my mother would be able to like really integrate, be able to become one of the community. um so yeah, it's just And again, like I've
Yeah, that's an
sensed
interesting
that for
story.
myself
That's
as
a
well.
very interesting. It's a interesting correlation between, as I just told you, my experience in China and your being a little kid in that restaurant. It's like, yeah, I am that kid. Sometimes I want to be heard, to be forgiven, that I'm not yellow, that I don't really look or speak that
Yeah.
Chinese, and sometimes I just want to be treated like that, the king. But it's interesting because, like, lately I've been getting this response because I like to work out, do some calisthenics outside, and
Mm,
I found a way how
it's
to
good.
really, yeah, how to get into this Chinese culture in terms of, yeah, on my terms. Like, I've been just showing how to do more proper exercise to Chinese, and they've been thankful. They've been asking me how to do that. So I guess, first lesson that we all should learn, all audience, is when you're going to another country, don't be a tourist. Don't expect that you're gonna
Hmm.
be beloved by all of those people. You just gotta throw this away and, like, all right, another white guy. All right. And the second one, I guess, regardless of your language skill or how much stuff you know about the history and blah blah blah, you gotta bring some, like, contribution, like being myself, yeah, pointing out some mistakes, and like they're doing the skipping pull ups, and it's like it's
Hmm.
at the moment it started to be super annoying, and I was like, yesterday I was like, stop, motherfucker, yo, no, you're not gonna do it that way, you gotta do it slow. And by the end of the workout, he was like, yo, thank you, man, and really meant to me something. I felt like, yo, finally I got some sort of a connection, not because I've been, super expert in Chinese or something. I've been, like, really struggling to explain how not to keep, but just a simple, you know, hold his body, like hand gestures, and good treatment, and
Yeah,
really care about something. That's it. But yeah,
that's
man,
interesting.